Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're brand new, welcome back. If you are not, and welcome home. If that fits for you. What we do here in this space is talk about what's up this week. This is the week of the 15th of January through the 21st of January 2024. Yeah, let's get right into it. There's a lot of available energy this week. Let's talk about how best to put that into action for you. So on Monday, the 15th, we start with a Pisces moon, and that Pisces moon is going to sextile Uranus, square Venus, sextile the Sun, and conjunct Neptune. After dinner, the Sun, still in Capricorn, will sextile Neptune. That moon is going to, well, thank you, sextile Pluto. And then before the day changes, the moon will move into Aries. So here's the deal. Monday is a day to pay attention to your long-term plans, right? You have access to be able to get in touch with your deepest and your most intuitive self. Your feelingness and your beingness are really unified in service, right, to your own highest and best, in a way that really offers a whole bunch of insight and awareness that is so far beyond surface level, right? And here's the deal. You can always do that intentionally, but sometimes the energy supports it. And that is the case on Monday the 15th. So, wow. Hey. So be willing to meet yourself at depth, right? Get those plans scripted. Like I always say, write it down. Write it down. When you are in those really deeply connected states, sometimes it is very hard to maintain the memory of what was there. So get it scripted, because the story available to you on Monday is way too good to lose. Okay? On Tuesday, the 16th, that Aries moon is going to square Mercury and Mars, both in Capricorn. So if you happen to find yourself a little short-tempered or sharp-tongued, the best you might be able to do is to just rein yourself in. Just apply that shh kind of thing and wait. Right? It might be a day to just pull your foot off the gas and coast a little bit, and let that kind of bare bones engagement be a saving grace for you, honestly. Consider your consequences first, because you will never regret that. On Wednesday the 17th, that Aries moon is going to conjunct Chiron, trine Mars, or trine Venus, I'm so sorry, and square the Sun. So you might feel a little scattered, you might feel a little non-focal. It might be really hard to sit still on Wednesday, right? Or even, honestly, to think straight. So your answer could be to move, right? Get physical. Somehow, some way, do something physical. The key here is to make sure that you're keeping your eye on your goals, right? Make sure that your emotion isn't carrying you off course. You can manage that. You can. Just let your inner sense of getting shit done lead you, and you will not have to worry about where you're going to end up. On Thursday the 18th, we start the day with an Aries moon square to Pluto. Always exciting, right? Always exciting. The moon then moves into Taurus, right, overnight. And then Mercury in Capricorn is going to sextile Saturn. That moon in Taurus is going to sextile Saturn. And then the moon will trine Mercury, conjunct Jupiter, and trine Mars. So it's a morning that can really be very accomplished if you simply go with the energy of the day, right? So relying on your routine, relying on your muscle memory, being content enough to be in your doingness early in the day. As the day wears on, work on your self-care game as it relates to your future and your finances. Pay attention. Self-care isn't always about bubble baths. Self-care might be, let me sit down and get my budget in line. Let me make sure that my numbers are matching. Let me catch up on my billing. Anything like that. So on Thursday evening, that is a beautiful way to allow your self-care game to serve you in a different way. On Friday, the 19th, Mercury in Capricorn will trine Jupiter. Venus in Sagittarius will square Neptune, right, all in the morning. And then that Taurus moon is going to conjunct Uranus and sextile Neptune into the evening. So this is a day to mind your long-term investments, right? Whoops, hello. See, okay. So on Friday, the 19th, you might awaken with very big plans. Keep a notebook handy, right? Write those plans down again. Don't rely on your memory. Make notes. The afternoon may become a little bit foggy. You might run into some complications as the day moves forward. The key here is to keep reminding yourself over and over and over again that those big plans are worth whatever the energy is that it might take to allow them to manifest. The key here is to be willing to dream huge and then be willing to work in support of that dream, right? Saturday, the 20th of January. Dun, dun, dun. This is a big day, guys. There is a whole bunch of shifting energy available. Let's talk about it, okay? So the Taurus moon quincunxes Venus overnight. And then really the moving of this day starts about 7:45, well, 7:46 technically, Central Time, when the Capricorn sun will conjunct Pluto, okay? 10 minutes later, the moon in Taurus will trine Pluto, and then the sun 1 minute later, right? So the sun, Pluto, the moon. These are our movers today. And they are very involved with one another as well. So 1 minute after that, the moon moves into Gemini. 10 minutes later, the sun moves into Aquarius. We have a little bit of gap did I say the moon moves into Gemini? I don't remember what I said. I hope I said Gemini. The moon moves into Gemini and the sun moves into Aquarius. Okay, so we're shifting from earth energy to air energy. Important, right? And then that Gemini moon is going to square Saturn in Pisces. And then at 6:50 p.m., Pluto moves into Aquarius. And before the day is over, that Gemini moon is going to quincunx, hello, Mercury. So here's the deal. We have been in a phase of contraction and expansion, right? During retrograde season, that is natural energy. But specifically today, I'm talking about Pluto on the 20th of January, because this is the day that Pluto moves into Aquarius, right? He dipped his toe in once before, and he will move back into Capricorn before the end of the year when he retrogrades. But this is the place where Pluto is really moving to get comfortable in Aquarius, which is a very big deal. So we're talking about this contraction and expansion, right? So we want to talk about personal growth and transformation, right? So we're talking about the sun and the moon, right? Your personal, literally your personal planets, the lights, and Pluto, right? The widest generational energy we have. Wow. Okay. In our galaxy at this time that we are aware of. So again, personal growth and transformation, 100% on the table today. So your opportunities for, let's call it self-alchemization, right, are not only present, but they are present in such an unlimited, deeply personal, but also absolutely unlimited expansion kind of way. The moon, the sun, Pluto, they all shift sign and therefore energy today, right? Moving from earth to air. So this is not only personal energy, but this is also collective energy. And they literally dance with one another before this shift, right? They catch up with one another, right? The moon trines both Pluto and the sun. The sun conjuncts Pluto. So they're intimately connected before they step into the next phase, right? So they're supporting one another. Contemplate that. Find all those ways and places that you are less than content with your own existence, with your own expression, right? Because this is the moon and the sun. So this is how you are being and how you feel about it and what you want to shift at the deepest level. So the key, and I think we'll talk more about this. I think we need to do a whole video on this shift because it's such a big day. Anyway, the key here is to be all in. Thank you. On your own on your own capacity and your own ability, right, to make the necessary choices or changes to the stories that will then create your reality, right? Moon, sun, Pluto, moon, sun, Pluto. Every level is open to you, right, from the personal to the most wide collective. There's never been a time where your concept of reality creates a ripple, a wave, or simply creates a shift as the biggest picture. Just pay attention. It's a big deal. On Sunday the 21st, that Gemini moon is going to quincunx Mars and sextile Chiron. So Sunday is kind of a day of resting and recovering from Saturday's big giant energies. It's a day to really work your story and invest your actual energy in those new stories, right? Get telling, again, get writing, and get living. Make notes, make notes, make notes. I cannot stress this enough. Do not rely on your memory to be your best advocate, your best friend. Write things down. Write them down, write them down, write them down. Even if it's just on a sticky note. I don't care if it's in a Crayola marker on your bathroom mirror. Write it down, write it down. Write it down with the pen on your skin and take a picture of it. Find a way to imprint it in your consciousness, not just relying on your unconscious perception to call it back. Please and thank you. You'll do yourself a favor and thank yourself later. Let's talk. Monday the 15th, we've got a Pisces moon. We have the Queen of Cups and the 10 of Wands, right? We talked about this as a day of long-term plans, right? Of really being in touch with your deepest and most intuitive self. And really witnessing how your feeling and being are unified. So again, we're talking about scripting your plans. We're talking about what's in your heart and soul and making sure that everything is in line, right, with what you want as a heck yeah. So anything that's not doesn't get written into the story, right? We don't ask it back for a sequel. We don't entertain it in the hopes that we can shift it, we can change it. It will change. No. We simply say, no, thank you. Put it down and let it go somewhere else, right? You're not obligated to the things that you said yes to any more than you must engage in them. You are obligated to the self you're in creation of here and now, right? If that definition changes, so does the story. So does the story. The key is to be honest about the story. The key is to be honest about the change. The key is to be honest about what brings you joy and what doesn't, right? It's okay to move forward as lightly as possible, putting down whatever you don't require. as long as you manage the consequences of those releases. Let the story be as good as it can be, right? Let the story be as good as it can be. Manage your consequences so that your future can come in free and clear. On Tuesday, we have the Queen of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. So, again, you know, we're talking about this embodied energy, right? So we're moving from an energy of emotion to an energy of, heck yeah, this is amazing. I love this life. Let me engage in it. Let me be inspired by it. Four of Pentacles is about conservation, right? And so we talked about this as a day where we might feel a little impulsive and we might have to wait. We might have to wait. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Waiting doesn't mean you're ignoring. Waiting doesn't mean you're repressing. Waiting doesn't mean that you're avoiding. Waiting simply means this might not be the most opportune time, right? Considering your consequences, again, considering your consequences here, if you have to wait, that's okay. That's okay. Don't move before you're ready to manage your consequences. Again, talking about how you may or may not end up regretting that in the long run, right? Long-term planning. This is our key this week. On Wednesday, we have the Star and the Two of Wands. Beautiful, right? So we talked about this as a day that might feel a little bit scattered or non-focal, how you might not want to sit still. Well, guess what? When you're poised to move to the next level, it is hard to sit still. Keeping your eye on your goals, though, and making sure that your motion doesn't carry you off course, that's okay. As we have the Star reminding us, whatever we're getting rid of here will be returned with that or better. With that or better. The universe is always going to provide you with that or better when you do the work of releasing what doesn't serve you. So, right, this is how your conscious and unconscious meet together, right? How doing the work creates, right? Look, we have a little bit of reflection here too, talking about the way that we, as we create our future here in this moment, call forth both our conscious and our unconscious, our past and our present. All of those polarities, right, come together within us every single moment. So just making sure that you're not distracted by your impulse to dive into the 3D and that you're forgetting your highest and best, right? Making sure that your inner sense of getting shit done is going to lead, right? You can't go off course if you're always in line with both of those things, right? You've got it. You can do it. Trust me. On Thursday, the 18th, we have Strength and the Six of Swords. Lovely, right? Lovely. So we talked about this as a day where we're going to trust our muscle memory. We're going to trust our routine, and making sure that we are also working on our future as it relates to our finances and resources. So here's the thing. When I get the Six of Swords, I always want to say, if you need help, ask for help, right? Find a resource. This always feels like facilitation to me, a way to move from one idea to another. And sometimes it simply is just a springboard. So if there's a tool you've been trying to put into place, I mean, this might be the day. If you have like a budget tool or a bill paying thing that you want to gather, or if you've been meaning to update, I don't know, your bill pay options, right? If you want to put things on budget billing or something, right? Bring yourself into focus, right? Strength for me is about how we create the opportunity to work on our own inner resistances. So whatever that means, whatever that is, sit down and do that work. You can do it, right? And create it as your next habit so that it will care for itself and you don't have to come back and devote your attention to it. Allow it to take care of itself, right? On Friday, the 19th, we have Judgment and the King of Swords. So again, we're talking about long-term investments here, right? And big plans and writing those big plans down. Now here's the deal, reminding yourself over and over again that these big plans are worth the energy that it's going to take for them to manifest. As big as you're dreaming, you want to make sure that you're willing to work for it. And guess what? The best way to do that is to really take stock of it, write it down, and then use this King of Swords energy, which is all about cutting out anything that's not relevant, right? That's not in line, that's not necessary, right? So we talk about swords as ideas, concepts, right? So anything that's superfluous or extraneous, again, it gets to go. It gets to go. We're not keeping anything as we move forward that's not required. And so with this Judgment card, it's really about figuring out, no thank you, this isn't going to work for me. This is my dream. This is what I'm devoted to. And anything that's not in alignment is going to become a no. And as we're minding our consequences, it's going to become easier and easier to devote yourself to that kind of energetic investment. On Saturday, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. I love this as this day for contraction and expansion, as this day for personal growth, as a culmination point for this week, right? So we're talking about what we're willing to manage and where we're calling ourselves on our own nonsense, right? The Seven of Swords is about the places that we give our attention that might not be where we want to, where we need to. This is distraction. This is the nonsense, right? This is the static. This is the self-deception. This is how we betray ourselves over and over again by choosing something that's not in alignment with who and what we are choosing to be in this moment, right? So we talked about this as this day for self-transformation and really deep personal growth on the deepest level. Well, the Two of Pentacles, she's super rooted, right? She's on firm ground. She's got all this beautiful waving emotional energy behind her, but she is firmly rooted, managing herself and her resources perfectly. So the way that you are creating yourself to be, you're only limited by your own nonsense, right? So again, we talked about being all in on your capacity and your ability to make the necessary choices to that story that will then roll out to change your reality. Well, guess what? If you're basing all of that on nonsense, you're building nonsense. Ooh, hey guys, there's a cardinal outside my window. So somebody is trying to tell you, pay attention, right? There's your messenger. Thanks, big fat cardinal. He's so beautiful. Anyway, if you're nonsensing, don't be surprised when you build from nonsense and it doesn't stand, right? Clear your foundation. Sun, Moon, Pluto. Sun, Moon, Pluto. You can do it, but you have to mind your consequences. On Sunday, you have the Two of Swords and the Page of Cups. So this is a beautiful kind of culmination energy to this week. Two of Swords is about confusion. It's about making decisions and how you really create from your ideas, right? Page of Cups asks you, does this make your heart happy? Does it, right? So we're going to talk about, again, where are you investing your energy? And again, you have, again, another opportunity to clear the deck of any nonsense. The way you do that is to check it in your heart and in your soul and figure out if this is really the thing that you want to build on, right? Certainly there's this felt sense, right? All of the machinations, all of the decision making is happening inside, right? You can't look out into the world to see if this will be a beautiful thing. It has to be internally motivated. You can't create a foundation in the world that is based on an idea. You just can't. It has to be an engaged idea, an aligned idea. It's got to be a thing that inspires you. Otherwise, it doesn't work, right? Success is not an idea. Success is a felt sense. And so it doesn't matter what you have if it's not valuable to you. So it's all self-reflexive. And again, it's really about how light you're willing to travel, right? Most important thing here for me is this one. And you know, this deck is old. It's several years old. There were only 7.5 billion people when I made it. So now it's in 8 billion ways. But this is completely and totally self-reflexive. It can't be comparative. You can't compare your ultimate story. You can't compare your shift. You can't compare your sense of contentment or even your quality of existence or the depth of expression with anyone else's. It has to be yours every single time. And the best and only way to do that is to keep clearing your channel and coming back to what it means to you, to you, to you. It can't be attached to someone else. It can't be attached to someone else's idea of what's going on. And as these three big things shift this week, again, we're talking about how deeply personal that transformation is and how your transformation ripples out into the collective, right? Pay attention because it matters. We have Awaking the Lion, right, which I love. We're going to see what this has to say for us this week. I kind of like it. Let's find out. The key concepts here are boldness, the courage to move forward even without knowing the way, facing that which is difficult or painful, the audacity to step into the unknown. Absolutely. That is exactly what happens all week long. We're talking about long-term plans, long-term investments, this contraction and expansion of self that literally creates this wave that pulses out into the collective, but starts with you, right? You are the catalyst. You are the thing that has to break the mold from within. Because if it breaks from without, that means death, not transformation. And as Pluto is changing signs, right, it has to shift from within. Oh yeah, we have such a conversation to have about that. Let's read. Regardless of the outer conditions right now, you can't wait for your fear to lessen before you move forward. In fact, despite the chaos and seeming disarray, you must be bold. Whatever your trepidation, act as if you have deep trust that all will be well. Nothing is promised to you, but you will never truly see the magic if you don't take the risk. Come to the edge of certainty in your life and leap into the unknown. You have no guarantee of immediate success. Still, you must summon your bravery in the face of possible pain, failure, or even success, and your own power. The act of making this leap, no matter the final outcome, awakens the lion within. Be proud of who you are and who you are becoming. No one can take this away from you. What type of courage is called for today? Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. Yeah. Know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or physical obstacle. So call on your strength and stand your ground, or consciously temper your emotional reactions. Do nothing and trust in your partnership with the divine. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity, right? So again, this all comes back to you. It comes back to the story that you're telling. It comes back to the path you're willing to commit to over and over again, right? And the thing is, it's your path. You're the one that has to walk it. You're the one that has to manage not just your consequences, but your choices all the time, all the time. No one can or will do that for you. And as you are the representative of the personal to the collective, again, all of these pieces and parts get to dance with themselves before they move into the next phase. So the question is, do you see yourself as the Sigma, right? Or do you see yourself as part of? And guess what? you're both. You're both, right? How beautiful is that? I love it, my friends. I do. I also would like to say good luck. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this day. It is a big deal in terms of energy, right? And the energy that's available to you. Whether or not you choose to put that into action is always your choice. But there are days where the universe hands you like a little bit more power, a little more availability. So this is a big week. Take care and be super blessed. Catch you next time.